Good morning. I'm filming this on a cold Sunday afternoon. You can see some of the snow from Saturday still behind me. Most of it is gone, but there's a little bit left. And I've really been reflecting on that a little bit. On Friday morning, Lee and I were out in the Cherokee National Forest riding horses in short sleeves. And on Saturday morning, we were putting blankets on our horses at the very tail end of a snowstorm, getting ready for the temperature to dip down into the low teens on Saturday night. And we were prepared for this because we had good weather apps on the phone and had good information from weather forecasters, and technology made us know on Friday that we better enjoy today because the cold is coming tomorrow. But I've been reflecting on how it wasn't all that long ago that would have taken everybody completely by surprise. I mean, we all were taken a little bit by surprise. It felt like spring was here, and then all of a sudden this blast of cold air and even a storm came in. It came in on the anniversary of the 1993 blizzard that dumped feet of snow in many places, even in the South, that was just absolutely not used to it and cut off power for a week or more during that time. And it just reminded me that even our technology doesn't give us everything that we need. And so I went looking a little bit for some biblical references for snow. And there's not a lot of them because the Middle East doesn't get a lot of snow. But in Psalm 147, which is a psalm that reminds us first that God's not all that impressed with us human beings, with our governments and that kind of thing, that God is so much far above them. And that's a good word for us on this day when our world really is at war with Russia and the Ukraine. But then later in the psalm, with the 15th to the 18th verse, we get a little a picture of God and the weather. And it says, God sends out His command to the earth. His word runs swiftly. He gives snow like wool. He scatters frost like ashes. He hurls hail down like crumbs. Who can stand before His cold? And boy, I felt that way yesterday. Who can stand before His cold with that wind whipping up? But then in the verse 18, He sends out His word and melts them. He makes His wind blow and the waters flow. If you listen, you can hear the water dripping off of our barn. And so you can hear the melting that is happening. And as the seasons come and go, we are somewhat surprised. But here's what we're promised. God is always with us. And God doesn't promise to exempt us from the cold. God doesn't promise to exempt us from the heat. What God does promise is, I will be with you. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Of course, a different psalm. What happens? I will not be afraid. Why? Because you are with me. Now, technology can help us prepare for things a little better now than it did in the past. It can help us prepare for weather. A routine blood test may let us know when there is some sort of a problem going on in our bodies, and we can address it more quickly than we might have in the past. And yet, at the end of the day, we need to recognize that we may not be exempted from these things, even if we know they're coming. But God is with us, and that is so powerful and so wonderful. And the whole purpose of Lent is we're making our way to Jerusalem so that Jesus can do what He needs to do to save us from our ultimate enemy, and that is, of course, death. And Jesus, but through His sacrifice, will exempt us from death. And so on this Lenten Monday, perhaps as you consult the weather this week, use that as an opportunity, as a Lenten discipline, to thank God that no matter what comes, wind or rain, cold or heat, snow or beautiful sunny skies, God is with us and God will walk us through this. And this, of course, is true because God is with us. Amen.